Hi, everybody. Today we've got another presidential political shift. This time we're going to take a look at two consecutive elections. We've got 1948 and 1952. Sometimes a lot can just change 4 years apart. And if you want to skip ahead to the map, there will be a link down below. But if you want to hear a little bit more about these elections, let's put both of these up. 1948, that was the famous Dewey defeats Truman election. But Truman actually won. He got 303 electoral votes, carried 28 states, good enough for 49.6% of the popular vote. The Republican was Thomas Dewey. He got 189 electoral votes, carried 16 states, with 45.1% of the popular vote. Now we also have Strom Thurmond down here. He's listed as a Dixiecrat. It does get a little tricky with some of the southern states. More on that in a second. But if we compare this to 1952, Dwight Eisenhower, he won a landslide with 442 electoral votes, carried 39 states, and got 55.2% of the popular vote. Adlai Stevenson was the Democrat. He got 89 electoral votes, carried 9 states, and 44.3% of the popular vote. Now, I'm mainly here just to show the shifts, the reasons why these shifts occurred. That's a different type of video. You'd have to go back and do some research, but I'm more interested to see where the net shifts are. So that's what this is. So let's take a look at this spreadsheet. We've got the states in the first column. Then we've got the 1948 Truman vote. Then the 48 Dewey vote. Then we've got the 1952 Stevenson vote, followed by the 52 Eisenhower vote. Then we've got the Democratic shifts between these two elections. Then the Republican shifts. And the last column is the net change between the two parties between the two elections. And then I've got shading, the darkest colors. Those are 10 or more point shifts. The lightest colors are under 5-point shifts. So we've got 3 levels of shading. So let's get into this. And to make this simple, I took all the data from Wikipedia. Let's get into the first state, Alabama. And just for this state, we're going to put up the results. This state actually had Strom Thurmond. His alliance was States' Rights Democratic, so he was not Harry Truman, the actual National Democratic nominee. So on my sheet, that is going to go down as a 0 for the Democrats. There's different ways you could do it. That's how I'm going to keep it simple. So with a 0 for Truman and the Democrats at 48, Thomas Dewey got 19%. Jump ahead 4 years. Adlai Stevenson, he bumped it all the way up to 64.6. Dwight Eisenhower, he also improved to 35%. That's a net gain of 64.6 for the Democrats and a net gain of 16 for the Republicans. That's a total net shift of 48.6 away from the Republicans and toward the Democrats. So that's how this works. Let's quickly go through the rest of these states. Alaska, Hawaii, and DC were not states or did not vote at that time, so we'll skip those. Most of the rest of these are red shifts toward the GOP, so unless otherwise noted, these did move toward the Republicans. First, in Arizona, that was 26.7, Arkansas 28.6, California an even 15, Colorado 26.8, Connecticut 10.1, smaller red shift in Delaware of 2.7, Florida 25.2, Georgia 3.1, Idaho 33.6, Illinois 10.8, Indiana 16.3, Iowa 30.9, Kansas 29.3, Kentucky 15.1, Louisiana 9.5, Maine 17.9, Maryland 10.2, Massachusetts 20.2, Michigan 9.8, Minnesota 28.5. Mississippi is another one of those southern states. It made it difficult, but it shifted 13.3 toward the Democrats. Now back toward the Republicans, we've got Missouri at 18.2, Montana 29.2, Nebraska an even 30, Nevada 26, New Hampshire 16.1, New Jersey 10.4, New Mexico 24.6, New York 10.9, North Carolina 17.5, North Dakota 33.8, Ohio 13.9, Oklahoma 34.7, Oregon 18.2, Pennsylvania, much smaller shift there of 1.8, Rhode Island 18, South Carolina 18.9, South Dakota 33.8, Tennessee 12.5, Texas had the biggest shift toward the Republicans, just under Alabama for the biggest shift overall. It went a massive 48.1 toward the GOP. Next, we've got Utah 26.8, Vermont 18.7, Virginia 19.8, Washington 19.5, West Virginia 11.3, Wisconsin 26.7, and the last state is Wyoming, and that went just under 30, 29.9 toward the Republicans, and the national shift is 15.4 away from the Democrats toward the Republicans. So those are all the states. Those are all of the shifts. And what we always do is apply all this data to a map to help visualize the changes. Let's take a look at it. Here it is. we've got similar shading. The darkest colors are 10 or more points, and the lightest colors are under 5-point shifts. So what are the takeaways? Well, this is a solid red shift. Nearly every state going double digits toward the Republicans. Democrats did the best in the Deep South, and a couple of lighter red shifts, but just 4 years apart. Eisenhower proved to be a winner. He did go on to win big in re-election 4 years after that, but 48 to 52, this map is a complete wipeout for the Democrats. There's just no other way to say it. There's minimal bright spots for the Democrats. Republicans had everything going in their favor in 1952. 48 was a much closer election in comparison, but I don't really think there's much else to even add here. As I said, the reasons for some of these shifts in some of these states, that's a different kind of video. You could look into that if you'd like. I'm just here to save you the trouble and show you the shifts. Maybe the most notable thing for me is Delaware and Pennsylvania not being in the South. They had very small shifts toward the Republicans. But other than that, in Michigan, this map looks like a red wave, and depending on your view, you could sit here and admire it or be outraged at it. Either way, I will leave it there. These are the shifts between 1948 and 1952. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about any of the shifts in any of these states? How about the candidates of Truman, Dewey, Eisenhower, and Stevenson? Let me know any of your thoughts down below. On your way out, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.